Simplified Chaos, episode 50.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey, wonderful friends. Welcome to another episode of Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my co-host and handsome husband, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? We did it. 50 episodes.
Looks like we made it.
Somewhat. We're almost at a full year, and today we're hitting episode 50.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's hard to believe that we got this far. And just like episode 25, we're going to do another Ask Us Anything 2.0.
I was like, how do we do that?
Or redo.
Roman numeral 2? I don't know.
2.0.
All right, 2.0. I dig it.
So yeah, and then we'll figure out the next time we do this. I don't know if we want to celebrate a 75th one, or do we just want to wait until we hit the century mark?
Dang.
I know.
I don't know.
It's going to be another year.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So anyways, as we just spilled the beans, this is going to be another Ask Us Anything episode. But before we dive into that, Jilly, what are you grateful for this 50th episode?
Today I'm
just going to keep saying 50. 50 Cent.
Oh, geez.
I'm done.
Are you done?
Yeah.
You sure?
Go ahead. What are you grateful for?
I was going to say I'm grateful for you, but if you're going to obnoxiously say 50 the whole episode, I think I'm going to take it back.
No. Go ahead. I'd like to hear this.
I am grateful for you, honey.
I'm grateful for you too, dear.
Because I think you've said it before. You are the best partner to be with, to travel with. And we had a really rad getaway to Charleston, South Carolina. Just you and me, mano y mano.
Yeah.
Took a short flight.
A very short flight. One of the shortest we've probably ever taken.
Stayed in the cutest little Airbnb.
A little bungalow.
It was a little studio bungalow, and
recreated our honeymoon.
You're just so fucking awesome to be around.
You are too, babe. Like you said, you are my best travel companion. Wouldn't rather travel with anybody else. So yeah, let's get sappy.
And I just think we complement each other so well, where I do one thing, you do another, and we just kind of seesaw back and forth and play tag, so to speak. And we do it effortlessly, but there's some work in the background too. But I just think that you make marriage easy hard work. I don't know if that makes sense.
Hard, easy work?
Yeah.
Easy, hard work.
Like it's work, but it's like, it just seems...
It's effortless.
It's with ease with you. It just feels right. So I love you a lot.
I love you too, baby.
I'm very grateful for you.
So, all right, now I'm going to switch my gratitude, and I'm grateful for you too.
Oh, don't switch it for me.
Well, I want to now because I just thought of something about our trip, which was really awesome. And God must work in mysterious ways sometimes, because the Ravens were playing the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday in the middle of our vacation. Jill is not the biggest football fan in the world. She can tolerate it, but it's not something that she's like rabid about and needs to watch football every Sunday.
No.
And luckily, by the grace of God, it rained from like 12:30 to about 4 o'clock, which is exactly the time that the Ravens were playing the 49ers.
That was pretty
It's kind of divine intervention that happened there. But we found it on our TV in our little bungalow, so we just kind of had a little cozy afternoon watching the game. And wouldn't you know it, after the Ravens beat the 49ers by a last-second field goal by Justin Tucker, the sun came out in Charleston, and we got to continue to enjoy our vacation. So I am grateful for you for putting up with me for that 4-hour period of time when I was in football land, and it was awesome.
It worked out in my favor because I really didn't want to be in a bar for 4 hours. So I'm grateful that our little bungalow actually had a TV and we could actually watch the game.
We were going to have a little adversity there on our vacation, but it ended up working out the way that it should have.
We must be putting out some good energy into the universe, because the universe just said, hey, we're going to give you this and you deserve it.
Yeah. My gratitude was going to be, and it has to do with traveling anyway, but it was going to be the discount program that we get at work for just, whatever. You can go on this website and you get stupid discounts. Well, we got a nice little discount on our rental car for our trip coming up to California, where we will be doing an interview with somebody that will be aired on this podcast. And if you didn't hear about our plans for 2020, check out our last episode because we've got some interesting things in the works for you folks.
So pumped.
Yes.
So pumped.
So that was my shameless plug, and that's how I was going to use the gratitude segment to plug last episode. You see what I did there?
Stop plugging.
I'm
Unplug.
unplugging. All right, folks. So here we go. Another Ask Us Anything episode. Jilly's got a bunch of questions, and we're going to answer them for you.
I do.
So thank you, everybody who gave us a question.
Yeah.
We hope that we're covering everybody.
We got some juicy questions that may take us longer than usual to answer. So, but
Let's get in some juice, Jill.
I'm excited to share a little bit about us and what our listeners want to know about. So anyway, our first question is,
what are you drinking tonight?
A Gold Rush.
I have the Boulevardier.
That is not the question. Oh, man. Our first question is about marriage.
All right.
One of our listeners wanted to know, how do you maintain a good and healthy marriage with having a kid, too?
Lots of sex.
Lots and lots of sex.
Lots of sex because we have so much time for that.
Well, if y'all didn't know, I think we talked about this on our, was it our sex podcast
Yeah,
episode?
probably. Yeah.
We do make it a priority that on hump day, which is Wednesday,
Yeah.
we have sex.
We'd
make sure that it's once a week.
It breaks up the week nicely.
So it's really crazy because all of the reasons I wrote why I think we are maintaining an awesome marriage, I think we had an episode about each of them. So one of them, the things I said was making sure we have time together and time apart.
Yes. Yeah, no, those are two key factors. Like this weekend was the first time we had time away from Lucille for more than one night. It was for 3 nights and 4 full days.
Yeah.
And it was great for us to kind of, like I said, it was like a second honeymoon. Mm-hmm. It's our first honeymoon, like really after Lucille was born, if you kind of think of it that way. But then we also have our time apart, which is nice as well.
Yeah, we kind of gamified our recent trip because on our original honeymoon, I was like, we're having sex every day of our honeymoon.
Yep.
So for 10 days straight in Maui, we rocked it.
Sometimes more than once a day.
Yes. And so this was only like 4 days, but we managed to do pretty well.
We accomplished what we set out to do.
We did. It was fun. So another thing I had is just being able to have date nights.
I love
consistently.
Date nights. Yes.
Just making time to just communicate with each other, even if it's at home and it's Lucille's in bed. We make it work. If we don't have a babysitter or don't have a family member who's able to watch Lucille, we order takeout, we make pizza, we make chicken tenders, and
with tots.
Gotta
have the tots.
Nicholas crafts up some cocktails, and we put Lucille to bed, and we kind of just bond and hang out and reconnect.
And that's the thing about date night, which was, I really enjoyed doing that episode because it kind of, we open the doors like, we don't have to go out. Mm-hmm. We can stay here. And Lucille goes to bed 7:30, 8 o'clock. We can have a little grown-up time, between 8 and 8:30 when you go to bed. I'm kidding. You didn't get the joke.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm in the zone.
It's all good. But it's date nights are essential.
Something else I had on here was just self-care, like being able to do what we need to do for ourselves in order to make sure that we're feeling our best so that when we are together, we're like rocking and rolling. And I know we podcasted about that and how our self-care, I think sometimes we think of self-care as a specific thing, but we kind of look at self-care as anything we do that is filling our bucket, so to say.
I mean, it can be something very trivial, like getting a haircut or enjoying a nice cup of coffee or even crafting a really delicious cocktail.
For sure.
Is self-care. But then, there are certain other things where, it takes some planning and, it's a retreat. Like you're getting ready to go to a conference in February for teaching, and that's not necessarily self-care, but that's some time apart. But I mean, it's something that you're really interested in as well. So, there's things that take planning, but then there's things where it could be something you do every day, just something really minor. You might think it's trivial, but it's really actually helping your mental well-being.
Well, yeah, and on I forgot what episode it was, but I talked about our values. I think it had to do with our calendar, simplifying our calendar.
Yeah.
I talked about how I wanted to add growth to what we value, and I love that you support me with my whatever I want to grow in. And I told you, like, I really want to grow a little bit more in teaching, and I want to motivate myself again in that profession, because it can be a profession where, you just hear a lot of complaining and just a negative atmosphere. And I just want to be reinvigorated because I love teaching. So I was like, I want to do this. I want to go by myself. And you're like, that's awesome. Like,
yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
You do you. Get your growth on. And, when we get back, it's,
we're stronger.
We are. Yeah. And I love that you support me through that. And I think that goes to my next one I had on here, which was just treating our life like a business.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing, is we have to treat it like a business.
And that forces us to communicate, to talk about our values, like what we both want in life, and just to plan accordingly what's on our calendar. Is it lining up with where we want our life to go and the direction we're headed? So I think because we treat our life like a business, it really forces more intentionally us to get together and just communicate about finances and experiences and what we want to do, what we plan on. I don't know.
We're getting ready to have our year-end meeting, so to say, if you want to call it that. But, we're going to reflect on the things that went well this year, the things that we can do better this year. And then more importantly, focus on growing next year. And, part of that is growing this podcast and doing some interesting things. Listen to the last episode if you want to know what's going on. But, we have financial goals that we want to reach. We have family goals that we want to have. We have vacation goals that we have. So we're going to break it down and make sure that we can, that A, that it's achievable, and B, that we're able to do it. And put ourselves in a position to accomplish those goals.
And I think all in all, it's all about just making sure that we are strong as individuals, so that when we are together, we're like on fire.
Yeah.
Like we're super ready to go with whatever. That by ourselves we're great, but when we're together it's like magic time.
Fucking tripod.
Fucking tripod.
Yeah.
So that's all I had for that. But I mean, it sounds like a lot of simple steps, but it's a lot of work. But
it is a lot of work, and because there's a lot of moving pieces. Like again, you know, as you said, we have to take care of ourselves, then we take care of each other, and it's communication. I think there's not enough that can be said about communicating and saying what's on your mind, your feelings, and talking about finances and all that stuff. Like that's, I think, key for a solid relationship.
Yeah, and when I say it's hard work, like it is hard work, but I think when you find the right partner, I think it just kind of comes effortlessly in a way, and it just eases right along. But I mean, it does take work,
and it makes parenting that much easier too.
Yes, I was just gonna say, if the stronger the marriage, I feel like the stronger the parenting game is, and we just really work as a team, and we're on the same page because we talk about parenting and how we want to raise Lucille. So
yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm just grateful for you.
Yeah, and we just have to, we talk the talk, but, we walk the walk as well. Like, we're making sure that we have time for each other. We're making sure we have enough time for her. And it's a balancing game, and some days are harder than others. Some weeks are harder than others.
True.
But as long as we're open and communicating, and if you feel like you're carrying too much of the load, I expect you to let me know, and I would do the same thing with you. So that's all it is. It's just really just being open about those kinds of things, and understanding your partner and where they're coming from, and figuring out how you can pitch in a little bit more, or how you can work together to make things easier.
For sure. I think just ebbing and flowing, and taking every season of life for what it is, and knowing that every season of life is going to be different. And then again, it's, I'm just asking questions, and hopefully you're just giving me the answers of how you feel and what you need. And just being really, really radically honest with each other, I think, is the key. But,
radical tubular.
Radical tubular.
Yeah. All right.
You ready for the next question?
Let's do it.
This question is
That
about...
was a good one. Good start, Jilly.
Woohoo! This question is about our wardrobe. This is probably more aligned to me, but you can definitely put your 2 cents in because I'm sure...
Oh, I will.
You have some wisdom.
I do.
So
don't buy shit.
This question was, with your wardrobe rule, do you tend to splurge on pieces that will last a long time or typically bargains? And for anyone who doesn't know, I did develop this wardrobe rule. It's called my one wardrobe rule, and it's just one rule that just kind of helped me simplify my wardrobe. And it is that anything I own or keep, it has to be 100% comfortable and 100% make me feel confident.
Yes.
And if it doesn't do 100% in any of those, like, I kindly let it go. Because at this point of life, like, I just want to look and feel good every fucking day, and I want to feel good every day. So this kind of helped me just make that process a little bit easier to let clothing go, and it makes it a lot easier when I'm purchasing new items. So this is kind of weird. I was looking at Google Memories in our photo app.
Okay.
And it shows you like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
It's kind of like an Instagram thing that they've done with it, but it instead of like within the last 24 hours, it's with this day 5 years ago, this day, like Jill was saying. So it's really cool. I like what they did.
So I was looking at something from 5 years ago, and we were on a trip, I think, in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. And
Jim Thorpe, chunk.
Everything I was wearing in that photo, I still own, and I'm still wearing. Like my hat, my winter jacket, the jeans, the boots, like everything I had on, I still wear.
Yeah. And
it kind of like I felt really good seeing that. I'm like, damn, I must have really picked out some key pieces of wardrobe that fit that rule, because I haven't let it go, and I'm still wearing them to this day. So I think for me, I tend to splurge on pieces that will last.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this in, I think it may have been our wardrobe or our shopping episode, but I really I'm not even drawn to the sales anymore, like the sales section, because if I do go to the sales section because I see that sign, I'm really not sure if I'm buying it because I truly need it or because it's a good deal. Like, really, I don't know. So I find that I only go shopping when I need something. And this is going to sound really weird, and I think I said it on another episode, but I really like buying things full price, because then I know for damn sure that I'm buying it because I really, truly need it, or I'm going to use it.
Right.
Like, it just... What's the word? I can't think of the word. It just confirms that that's really what I want. Right. If I'm paying full price, it's like, I really want this. Like, there's no question about it. But if it's on sale, it's like, well, maybe I'm buying it because it's 40% off. And I just thought about, like, my recent purchases. I think I've only had 3 recent purchases within the last 6 months, which that speaks huge to me. Because before, I would buy things very seasonally, a lot of things seasonally, because I'd go into Target all the time.
Or Marshalls.
But I think about my recent purchases, and I recently bought a hat on vacation, and it wasn't on sale, and it wasn't Black Friday, even though we were there in Charleston on Black Friday, and we were actually really close in buying something, and then you were like, Jill, it's Black Friday. Are you buying things because it's Black Friday, or are you buying it because you like it? You kind of gave me that reminder, like, do you really want to do this? And I was like, no. It's crazy how quickly you get sucked in when you see
sales.
Yeah. It's like something in the mind goes, I need to buy something now. So I recently bought a hat, and it wasn't on Black Friday, and it was full price, and I love it, and I use it. And the last thing I bought, I went to a thrift store, and I bought a new sweater for winter because I got rid of some. So I was like, replace one that I got rid of with a newly used one. And another thing I bought was some high-waisted black jeans at Target, and they were not on sale, and they were full price. And that's how I knew I must have really wanted it, and I've been wearing them almost every other day at work. So, yeah.
So for me, it depends on the item and what it's going to be used for. So for like my casual wardrobe, I won't go as expensive on those things, and I may look for a deal, but I'm not the person who's, going out there and shopping just to shop and getting something because there's a deal. Like, I'm getting something because I need it and I need to replace something. It could be a sweater that It's just gotten really loose over the years, and even washing it won't bring it back to its, normal form. And, I get good use of it. I mean, I have sweaters in my drawer that I've had for 5 and 6 years now, and they're kind of at the end of life. But I also got them from Old Navy on sale, probably half off, because that's what Old Navy does. So for me, it's more like the perceived value of things. And so I'm willing to find a bargain, but I'm not just using that bargain just to buy something mindlessly. Like, I have a purpose when I go out and buy clothes. So I'm more along the lines of the discount end, but I'm more conscious about what I'm buying. And like I said, I'm not just doing it to do it. So when it comes to the casual clothes, I'm looking for more of the deal. However, when it comes to like the clothes that I wear at work or work shoes, I'm willing to spend a little bit more, because it's not going to get the wear and tear as the casual stuff, because I'm in an office setting. So I'll go a little bit more expensive on like a pair of dress shoes or a dress shirt, or even some nice khakis or slacks or whatever that I'm wearing, because I know I'll get really, really long use out of it. So to me, it's just a matter of what the intention is for that piece of my wardrobe, and then again, seeking the best offer.
It's interesting because I don't trust myself with sales, but you use sales so consciously. Like,
right,
you plan accordingly. Like, if I need this, I'm gonna wait, and I love that you do that. But it's like, I can't do it because I don't trust myself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a gift. I'm just kidding.
No, I just like that.
But it's just, I've always been like that. I mean,
yeah.
when it comes to money, like, and particularly like even when I was a teenager, I was very careful what I spent my money on, and really thought things through and second guessed myself. And if I wasn't 100% confident in it, then I didn't buy it.
It's like my one rule wardrobe.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Yes.
Anything else on this one?
No.
That was another great question.
So it was. So the next topic is about holidays. We have 2 questions about that.
Ooh, this is the season.
The first one is boundaries, especially around the holidays.
Okay.
So this is what I had to say. Setting boundaries around the holidays. I know that it can get chaotic, and there could be a lot of things going on and a lot of family things. So this is what I said, that we only say yes to like one event a day. I mean, I think we kind of do this throughout our life. Like, we kind of have this rule we set that we try not to set.
There may be an occasion where we have two events,
but usually it's one.
Yeah.
So that way, because I think our bandwidth can only take so much.
Yeah.
And when we only have one event, it's like we can truly be there, be present, enjoy it, not feel pressured to, especially now having Lucille, it's like making sure that she's in, getting a nap before we go somewhere,
right.
or,
Well, I'll give 2 examples of this. We just had Thanksgiving, and, we've decided that we want to host Thanksgiving because, we can bring, there's a lot of family coming together now. We're the ones, you and your sister, we have, kids now, and there's a lot of family involved. And so, we're kind of like that central hub to kind of bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And really, it's not a big deal for us to host. I mean, everybody pitches in, everybody brings a dish. So it's just very easy for us to do that. Now, with Christmas coming up, we have a couple different things or a couple events that we have to do. Like, we're going to host a Christmas Eve party, like open house at our place, which is always fun. But Christmas Day, we are going to go to 2 different spots. But, we've got a plan for that as well. So we're going to go to your cousin's place. Usually that's in the late morning, early afternoon. And they're on the eastern shore of Maryland, just over the Bay Bridge. And then my parents, who are in Delaware, which is a little bit further down Route 50, we'll have something in the evening at their house. But, I'm off the next day, you're off the next day. So instead of us, going both places and then coming home, we're going to make it a nice long night and, spend the night at my parents' house, just so that, Lucille's going to have a long day and she's going to need to crash somewhere. And, instead of her napping in the car and then waking her when we get home and then putting her in the crib and all that crazy stuff, we're going to be exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
we'll stay out there and, have a nice breakfast the next day and, just kind of take our time with it. So it's just, that's kind of the boundaries we've set for these 2 holidays.
I think the word to describe how we do holidays now is just slow. Like, we really take our time. Whereas before, I think we were like, we got to go here, we got to go here.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we see everyone. And now it's like we're okay spreading a holiday out over a couple days or even a week. It's not like we have to do everything in one day. And we've kind of changed our mindset about that. And we're a lot happier because of it, because we're not trying to rush and do everything in one day. Because really the point of a holiday is to just be present with your family and just...
And that's the biggest thing is we want to spend quality time with them and not feel rushed and saying, okay, we're jumping from one event to the next. Like, this is a time for us to be, with our family and friends and actually have that quality time. So we're going to make sure that we get that.
And I think when we do our holidays, I think everything is very intentional and it all aligns with our values, which makes us even happier. Like, we value family, we value experience, we value, just... our health. So it's like whatever we're doing during that holiday, it's like we're still making sure to do all those things that are important to us. Even if it, it is just strolling outside for a little bit. I need to get outside every day. So it's like you just do what makes you happy, and it's kind of a simple thing, but it's just you got to be ruthless about doing what is going to make you feel best.
Yeah. And again, with holidays, I think that's where communication is also, very key. And, Jill and I have had a tradition where, we don't buy each other any gifts. We either save money for an experience or, we buy an experience for each other or just kind of talk about it. And we've kind of, done that with our family as well. And, we're like, this is kind of what we have in mind. And it's been really great. Like, we've had season tickets to the Orioles. We do a Caps game with my brother every year. Like, there's a lot of traditions that we've set just because we've decided to do things a little bit differently. And it's been fun. Like, it's really cool because not only are we having the experience at that holiday at Christmas, but then we have another experience with our family that we're setting up,
really cool,
as a result of that. So it's just, it's a great dynamic and everyone's really bought into it. And, I think it makes Christmas, a lot of fun, and it always gives us something to look forward to and another time we get to hang out with our family.
I agree. The next question we have is decorations with the holiday.
Ooh.
So
what decorations?
Again,
kidding.
I am not very enthusiastic about having all of the things and decorating everything. Like, to me, it's not enjoyable. And I know to some people it like sets their heart on fire.
Yeah,
like, being
people
able
are
to
ready
do
to
all
go out there and do that stuff. Yeah. I mean,
and it's not for me. I think the simple, the better, because it's less maintaining, it's less cleaning, and then it's less putting away. I probably sound like a Scrooge, but it really is just less is more to me. So, and I try to be creative with what we do use for decorations. So, for example, we get Christmas cards from friends and family every year, and we use that as a decoration. We clip them on this little string with like the little binder clips, and we kind of hangs from our candle.
We have two sconces, and it's like right over the piano, and so it's really cool. We do that. We go every year and we cut down a tree. So we have a tree decorated. For like decorations in the house, like we have a wreath that goes on the front door and we do candles in the windows, but like, we're not doing the lights and the blow up Santas that look like they're hung over the next morning when they're all deflated sitting in the lawn. I was passing one this morning. That was the first thing I said. I was like, that Santa had a rough night last night.
Oh gosh.
But, we keep it really simple. And again, we value our time and there's some small things you can do to make your house look festive for
we do put
the different holidays.
White lights around the house. Like, we have little strands of white lights that we may put on the shelves in our butler's pantry or around the staircase.
Yeah, we do a little garland up the staircase. It's nothing, extravagant, but it really takes us maybe 2 hours to set up and then 2 hours to take apart, and then we're done. That's all the time I really want to put into it.
And I'm really excited about when Lucille, I mean, she probably could do now, but like just using whatever she makes, like crafts as decorations too. Instead of, going out and buying all these things, it's like I get to use what my daughter creates and put it on the tree or, hang it on the fridge. Yeah. So I'm excited for Lucille to kind of add to the decorations that we're going to have. And
I love, my folks got Lucille this little felt Christmas tree that has these different like kind of ornaments, like felt ornaments that she can stick on there and play with. And she's been getting a lot of great use out of that. So it's been really kind of cool. Just it's hung up in kind of her corner where her toys are. And, she's getting over there and she's taking them off and putting them back on. So it's, developing fine motor skills.
True top. All right. Our last question
Last question.
It may be more heavily on me answering because it's about teaching.
I'll chime in.
Okay.
When appropriate.
And for those who don't know,
Let me read the question. I'm going to read the question.
Let me read the question.
I'm going to read the question. All right. Here we go. How do you bring minimalism into the classroom, Jilly?
All right. So, since we started our simplifying journey, I really didn't see kind of who the teacher I was until we started questioning everything in our life. And then I started looking at my job and saying, wow, I need to really start questioning what I'm doing as a teacher. I've been questioning how I'm living and what the parent I want to be and the person I want to be, but I really need to look at pretty much what I do mostly how many hours during the week? Like most of the hours during the week I am in the classroom. Yeah. And it's crazy how that was the last thing I looked at. But I just kind of started questioning my role as a teacher because I think minimalism is just really about finding a life that's meaningful. And I really wanted my classroom to be meaningful. I didn't want to just be doing the things to do it. I wanted to make sure that everything had a purpose. So the questions I started asking myself as a teacher are how can I make my teaching career meaningful to both myself and my students so that we're both fulfilled? Am I being intentional with my time at school? Am I being intentional with building relationships with my students? Am I aligning all of my lessons to the actual real world? Am I teaching the skills and content truly needed to help children thrive in the real world? And am I being my truest, authentic self when I am with my students? Or am I just being that fake teacher?
Right.
Am I just being me? So all of these questions really I had to reflect on, and it really pivoted everything about my teaching, everything. And Nick has been the greatest support system because I feel like I come home and I just talk to him about everything that I'm learning and realizing this way of teaching. It's so different than what I was doing before. I think before I was more like a robot going through the motions. Like I saw a curriculum and I taught that lesson and I just did the things just because that's what I was told to do. And now I'm like, why am I teaching this? Like, really, is it benefiting my kids? So I'm grateful for you for letting me just talk about all the things that I'm learning as this experience. And I find that since I found the answers to all these questions as I'm teaching, it's like I can't go back to the way I was teaching before, just mindlessly. You've been red-pilled
as a teacher.
I've been red-pilled.
You can't go back.
I can't go back, and
that's the truth.
I think what will sum this up the best is that this is going to be our resource. I know I'm doing things a little out of order, but I like
mixing shit up, Jilly.
I wrote a blog post that really spoke to everything about what I've learned, and I just wanted to read a blurb of it, and then we can put the link in the show notes. But we
won't do that.
No, we won't. But I'll just read a quick little blurb.
Sounds good.
The title of this blog post was "Simple Happy Teaching." This was part 2 of another blog post that I wrote.
Isn't that also your other Instagram handle?
It is.
Simple Happy Teaching?
Simple Happy Classroom.
Classroom. All right.
Yes. So if you want to follow teacher life of me.
Teacher Jill,
you can follow that on Instagram, and I can put that in the show notes too.
No, we won't do that.
So I'll just read a quick little bit of it just so everyone gets the gist of how it's affecting me.
Go for it.
Cool. As a teacher, I was and still currently am given all the things. Every new school year, I am given all the teaching resources I would ever need to help a student be quote-unquote successful, or at least that's what I thought. All of the curriculum documents, Google Sites, workbooks, professional development meetings, and mandatory assessments were showing me a path. This path was ultimately telling me what to teach, the specific content students should know, the mandatory assessment students should be scoring well on, and then all the activities, lessons, and tasks that should help me to accomplish this. This is the path I was shown that quote-unquote good teachers should follow in public education. This is the path I thought all quote-unquote successful teachers followed. But I realized this was not everything. And if you are given everything, where is the space for creativity and individuality? Where is the space in public education for student-led creativity, in-depth conversations on issues that are important to students, social and emotional skills, exploration of students' personal interests and curiosities, problem-solving strategies, health and wellness education, and just the overall freedom to just have fun? I mean, isn't that what life is all about? I realized that I had been bombarded with so many resources, curriculums, and assessments that I had forgotten why I became a teacher in the first place. But I realized I was only distracted. I was distracted about what is truly important. Life is not about teaching content that we are told is important. It's not about making students behave. And it sure isn't necessary for students to take hours of assessments year after year just because that's what they are told to do. Life is about sharing our unique gifts with the world. It's about choosing the path that aligns to our individual interests, wants, needs, and desires, and helping others along the way. This is what I wanted to help students find.
I'm very proud of you, Jill. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, you know, you've seen what's going on in the classroom, and you've realized that, you know, we're taking away the creativity, the individualism of kids, and you know, it's wrong. Like, you know, they need to be creative. They need to feel that they have the power to make decisions for themselves, and they need to be armed with, you know, just the everyday things in order to survive in life, because you can't trust that that's going to be taught at home either. So, you know, it's you know, what you're doing in the classroom is just amazing, and the kids are lucky to have you as a teacher, and I think, you know, they're going to look back one day and you know, realize that you had such a big impact on their lives. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing, and really, you know, keep growing, because, you know, you did get in this profession for a reason, and that was to, you know, help foster the growth of the youth of your county, of our state, of this country, and, you know, they deserve it.
I appreciate it, babe.
Yeah. So keep it up.
I will do. Hopefully one little teacher can make a difference, and I'm just going to keep spreading the awareness of the amazingness, the benefits that I'm seeing in the way I'm teaching. And
yeah.
Hopefully we can start some kind of crazy, amazing trend to just change the way we're teaching kids.
It's a revolution, baby.
It's a revolution.
You gotta have to have a revolution.
Yes.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I like these questions. Oh, we got one more in. Nick, what makes you such a good husband? I'm kidding. Anyways, all right. How about, do we have a quote of the day, Jilly?
We do.
All right, let's get into that.
The quote of the day is from me.
Oh, damn it!
This is what happens when I make the quote of the day.
Oh man, you self-serving. Go for it.
Cough. I'm sorry. All right. The quote of the day is by Jillian Koscielniak.
So self-serving.
It's. Damn it, Nick.
Sorry.
Good thing your cocktails are so good. I can't be mean to you.
They are really good.
It's very difficult to have a meaningful life when we are distracted.
Touché.
Our take action challenge.
I was just getting ready to ask you. Jilly, what's our take action challenge today?
That's such a great question, Nick. Filter out the distractions and start sharing your gifts with the world. I mean, that's all we need to have a fulfilling life.
I agree.
So, less scrolling, less shopping, less looking at those advertisements, and just
fuck those advertisements.
Just really find your passion, find what you're enthusiastic about, and just start sharing it. And damn, life just seems so much more awesome when you do.
Hell yeah. I'll second that.
Whoop whoop.
All right. Well, episode 50, Jilly, in
That's
the
a wrap.
books. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting us and writing to us and letting us know, how you've benefited from an episode, and for these amazing questions that, we had an awesome job awesome time answering today.
We did.
We have a lot of resources for you in the show notes. We'll try to put links into each one of the episodes that we talked about and covered, and obviously we'll put Jill's blog posts in there, self-serving. But no, it's been an amazing year. Amazing 50 episodes, and we can't thank you all enough for your support. So, we hope you'll be with us for the next 50 episodes and beyond. But have a great week, and we will talk to you again next week.
See you later, guys.
We want to thank everybody for listening today. Please be sure to subscribe and sign up to receive notifications so you know when the next episode is live. If you like today's episode and know someone who could benefit from the topic we covered, please share it with them. And if you have any suggestions for us or want to chime in on today's topic, you can email us at simplifiedchaospodcast@gmail.com, and that's chaos with a K, or send us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you